Do you know that one of my customers blew his Toyota's gearbox and it cost more than $3,000 to replace? I know, automatic transmissions are tough, but not indestructible. Even small mistakes can add up fast. This is why today, I'm sharing the 7 biggest mistakes drivers make with automatics. Stick around until the end, because I'll reveal one of the deadliest mistakes that can reduce your engine life by 50,000 miles. Alright, let's start with mistake number 1. Never neutral drop your Toyota. One mistake that absolutely destroys automatic transmissions is what's called a neutral drop. This happens when a driver puts the car in neutral, revs the engine, and then slams it into drive for a hard launch. It's like trying to dump the clutch in a manual, but in an automatic Toyota, it's one of the worst things you can do. Back in the 60s and 70s, some drivers used this trick before modern torque converters were developed. Today, it's a transmission killer. Here's why. An automatic uses a torque converter, which transfers power from the engine to the transmission through transmission fluid. Imagine it like a cake mixer. One turbine spin, the fluid builds momentum, and then that force transfers to another turbine connected to the transmission. That's how your Toyota moves smoothly without a clutch. Now, picture revving the mixer at full speed and then suddenly dunking it into cake batter. That violent jolt is exactly what happens inside your transmission during a neutral drop. The sudden torque shock slams the clutches, gears, and internal components with stress they were never meant to handle. At first, you might just feel a hard clunk when shifting into drive, but repeat this mistake, and you'll end up bending or snapping something deep inside your gearbox. Once that happens, you're looking at a full transmission rebuild or replacement, which can cost Toyota owners anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 in the US. So the rule is simple: never rev in neutral and drop it into drive. If you want your Toyota to last, always shift into gear first, then press the gas. Neutral drops are a guaranteed way to find your transmission's weakest point, the hard and expensive way. Mistake number 2. Never use the wrong transmission fluid. One of the worst mistakes you can make with a Toyota automatic is using the wrong transmission fluid. Toyota doesn't design its gearboxes to run on generic or universal fluids. They're built for very specific blends, especially Toyota WS World Standard fluid. This isn't just a fancy label. WS fluid has a unique thickness and a special set of additives that keep your transmission cool, maintain the right pressure, and protect the delicate clutches inside. Models like the Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Highlander, and Tacoma are especially picky. If you pour in the wrong stuff, the transmission won't just sort of work, it will act up quickly. You'll notice rough shifting, overheating, or strange noises. And if your Toyota has a CVT, like many Corollas and RAV4s, using anything other than the exact CVT fluid is even worse. The wrong blend can chew up the steel belts and pulleys in no time. The scariest part is that the damage doesn't always show right away. At first, you might only feel a little hesitation when shifting, but over time, the wrong fluid breaks down critical parts until one day the whole gearbox fails. When that happens, you're looking at a $3,000 to $6,000 repair bill in the US. Toyota is so strict about this that even their manuals warn owners, if you don't use WS or the fluid listed in the guide, you could lose warranty coverage. So the rule is simple. If a shop offers universal ATF, say no thanks. Stick to Toyota WS or the fluid your owner's manual calls for. It's the cheapest insurance you'll ever buy for your transmission. Mistake number 3. Not using the handbrake when parked. Many Toyota drivers believe shifting into park is all that's needed when leaving the car. The gear does lock the vehicle in place, but what's actually happening inside the transmission is often overlooked. When you put your Toyota in park, a small metal arm called a parking pawl engages. This pawl drops into a slot on the output shaft, locking it so the wheels can't turn. That's why you might feel your car roll slightly before hearing a click. That's the pawl snapping into position. While durable, the pawl isn't meant to carry the full weight of your vehicle. On a slope, relying only on park forces all those thousands of pounds onto that one small part. Over time, this stress can wear it down or even cause it to fail. If that happens, your Toyota can roll unexpectedly, even though the shifter is still in park. The handbrake was designed to take that load off the transmission. Engaging it whenever you park distributes the stress and keeps the pawl from being overworked. Toyota models like the Camry, Corolla, and RAV4 benefit greatly from this habit, especially when parked on an incline. Just remember to release the brake before driving, as leaving it engaged can damage the rotors. Using the handbrake along with park adds an extra layer of safety and prolongs the life of your transmission. It's a small step that pays off big over time. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. Mistake number 4. Left foot braking. In a Toyota with an automatic, your left foot really doesn't have a job. Some drivers try to put it to work on the brake pedal, especially if they've seen racing drivers do it on TV. In motorsports, left foot braking has its place, but in everyday traffic, it's a habit that creates more problems than benefits. The main issue comes down to coordination. Driving relies heavily on muscle memory, your body's ability to react quickly without thinking. If you're startled by a child running into the street or a car cutting you off, your instinct is to slam on the brakes with your right foot. That reaction is trained into almost every driver. But when you start braking with your left foot, your reflexes can get mixed up in a split second. What often happens is that both pedals get pressed at the same time. The brake is trying to stop the car, but the gas is still telling the engine to push forward. In a Toyota, that means longer stopping distances, overheated brakes, and a very real safety risk. Even in something as simple as backing out of a parking space, the wrong reflex could send you lurching forward instead of stopping cleanly. Professional drivers spend years practicing techniques like this on controlled tracks. On the road, though, it just isn't worth it. For everyday Toyota owners, the safest move is to keep your left foot on the floor and let your right foot handle both pedals. It keeps your reflexes sharp, your braking consistent, and your Toyota much safer. Mistake number 5. Shifting to neutral while coasting downhill. Some Toyota drivers think shifting to neutral when rolling downhill is a clever way to save fuel. The idea is simple: put the car in neutral, let it idle, and coast. But in reality, this habit gives you almost no benefit and can actually put you at risk. The biggest issue is control. When your Toyota is in neutral, the engine is disconnected from the wheel. That means you lose the ability to accelerate instantly if you need to, and you can't use the engine to help slow the car down. If you forget you're in neutral in the middle of traffic, you could find yourself pressing the gas and going nowhere when you most need power. There's also a safer and smarter way to handle steep roads: engine braking. Most Toyota automatics allow you to downshift manually into a lower gear, often marked as 3, 2, or L on the shifter. By locking the transmission into a lower gear, the engine itself helps slow the car, reducing stress on your brake pads. This gives you more control and keeps your Toyota steady, especially on long downhill grades. And as for fuel savings, that's a myth. Modern Toyotas are already designed to minimize fuel use when coasting in drive. Shifting to neutral won't make a measurable difference at the pump, but it will make your car less safe to handle. So leave neutral alone when driving downhill. Keep your Toyota in gear. Use engine braking when needed, and let the transmission do its job. It's built to keep you in control while protecting both your brakes and your fuel economy. Mistake number 6. Keep your hand off the gear lever. Resting your hand on the gear lever while driving might feel harmless, but in a Toyota automatic, it can cause hidden damage over time. Even light pressure on the shifter transfers into the transmission linkages inside. That constant force adds extra friction and wear to delicate parts that are designed to move freely. At first, the effects might be subtle, a little stiffness, rough shifting, or a faint clicking sound when changing gears. But as the wear builds up, the transmission can start behaving unpredictably. Repairs for worn shift components or internal damage don't come cheap, often running into the thousands of dollars for Toyota owners in the US. There's also a safety angle. Keeping one hand on the gear lever means your grip on the steering wheel isn't as firm. In an emergency, that split second of reduced control could make the difference between avoiding a crash and being part of one. Toyota engineers designed the shifter to be used only when selecting or changing gear, not as a resting spot. The best habit is simple. Keep both hands on the wheel and only touch the gear lever when you need it. It's a small adjustment, but it protects your transmission, saves you from expensive repairs, and keeps you safer every time you're behind the wheel of your Toyota. Now, this last mistake is the deadliest one of all. Mistake number 7. Never overfill or contaminate your transmission fluid. One of the easiest ways to shorten the life of your Toyota's transmission and even your engine is by mishandling transmission fluid. Two common mistakes stand out: overfilling and contaminating the fluid with water. Both can destroy your Toyota from the inside out. Let's start with overfilling. Some drivers think that more fluid means better performance, but that's not how it works. When too much fluid is inside, it doesn't circulate properly. The excess creates bubbles and foam, which starve the transmission of the smooth lubrication it needs. Instead of cooling and protecting the clutches, it causes heat, pressure spikes, and rapid wear. Over time, this stress doesn't just kill the transmission, it puts extra strain on the engine too. Now add water into the mix and things get worse. If water sneaks into the transmission, whether from floods or leaks, it turns the fluid into a thick, sludgy mess. The clutches slip, the gears grind, and the cooling properties vanish. Even flushing the fluid might not save it at that point. Many Toyota owners who drove through deep water have ended up needing complete transmission replacements costing thousands of dollars. The solution is simple but powerful. Check your fluid level regularly, follow Toyota's service schedule, and never drive through deep water. By keeping the transmission fluid clean, balanced, and at the proper level, you not only protect the gearbox, you also lighten the load on your engine. Avoiding these mistakes can easily add 50,000 extra miles to your Toyota's engine life. If you found this video helpful, then be sure to watch this video next, where I'm sharing top mistakes that destroy the V6 engines.